try. I will take a little wait for if people will look at live. I don't know. We will see. Hopefully, I have some problem with the technical thing. The internet has yesterday for everything stopped working. So we'll see if it works now. We'll see. I just need to check it out. Everything. So if you have any question, this is a carnivore for future, and we talk about carnivore, and also you have the ability of course, if you can, you can ask any question you want about fasting, carnivore, and if you want to go even further, you can also go raw meat carnivore like I do. And it's up to you, but if you go in raw meat carnivore, there is something you should be, thinking of, because it's a bit different than doing normal carnivore. See if you can get this light a little bit better without getting my face with the lamp. Light, we'll see here if I can get different light. Let's see here. That's a bit better. Maybe a little bit dark, but okay. So if you're new to this community, ask any questions you want. And of course, people that see me back in the days and today see that there is a totally different person today behind this camera, if you even in real life, compared to, let's say, 5 years back. 5 years back, I was close to die. That's the real thing. And let's see this. What? I have some problem with the internet. Problem. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just ask. I will go through this thing now. I try to make it like an first time without, this is live. I don't have any preparation at all. So it's just from the heart and the brain every day. I will try to make it clear. I will do for 1 hour. If you have any questions and such, just ask. Well, I will talk about carnivore and how you will start with this and how you will success with it. And hopefully I will do this in 25 minutes or sort of. I will try to explain what you should do, because I'm going through that shit. It's a transition time and everything. And what I found out today, I could have done this journey a bit faster, and if I had the right tools. And this is what I want to supply for everyone, and how you do this the best way. I have some computer problems, so I need to restart it. I tried to restart it because I use the phone, but I also use the in YouTube online to see any question, because YouTube, you don't see the messenger, right away. Depend on, it can take up to 1-2 minutes before I see any questions. You can't write in Arabic. I am not Arabic people, so I can't read it. So of course you can write in any language you want, but I will not be able to answer it if it's not in English or Swedish. I can read some German. So if you are from German, I can understand the most thing. Polish, a little bit, I drop off. I am half Polish, Ukrainian. So I got this language from the birth, but I dropped out when I was 7 years old from it totally. So I can understand a bit today. But I prefer English and Swedish, depends on. But I will talk in English. But I will give you, step-by-step instruction how to success with this. And I don't think no one has done this before. But for me, it's pretty simple. I've gone through all this, soon 5 years. And things I find out the last 2 years, if I started with them from the beginning, my journey has probably got a little bit quicker back to health. And the health is what we want to find. So how you will success? Number one, starting carnivore. What is carnivore? and what is the perspective of the carnivore diet? How will you success and how do you transit to it? Because it's a transition time. You will not be able to switch right off because your body has something, you think about. You have mitochondria that needs to work, and if you're living a long time with not good diet, your mitochondria will be dysfunctional. That's the case, and probably you are tired. You probably has hormone problems. Cheat? No. If I we talk about cheatings, it's for me to eat anything else that is ketogenic. It's impossible. Cheating, it's the coffee, and I drink heavy cream. Danish, if you write Danish, we'll probably be able to read it because Swedish and Danish not that far away from each other, so it's not a problem. I can listen to Danish TV channels and without any problem understand what they say. Depends on, but I work with a Danish teacher actually in my work that name was Preben Romme, and he talked a very difficult accent from, I think it was Jylland or something. So I understand what he says. So yeah, so it's not that easy. How will you have success? Don't forget the word have. Have. Having, still success. But how you fulfill this journey is very easy if you do it the right way from the beginning. And the problem most people when they go into the carnivore is that they have problem with the nutrition in the body, and your mitochondria will not be ready for the new type of eating you will do. So think you can go from this to this, and it's a totally different omnivore and carnivore is totally different food maps. And just switching off will, you will get problem with diarrhea, you will get problem with eczema, whatever. You will feel like shit. That's the case. It's not that easy from the beginning. And how to do this? What I know today is that when you start in carnivore, you want to do this. First of all, forget this by eating 1 meal a day, 2 meal a day, and be successful in thinking you can evolve and fix this in first months. It will be very, very hard for you. But if you do this like priming, so the number one thing is to learn the body you get nutrition. And the thing is, most people that have eaten, it was a dirt on my nose, I think. No, it's just a shadow. The most people have probably, if you're obese, you have nutrition deficiency, and that's a problem. Because if you have a nutrition deficiency in the body, you will not be able to lose weight. That's impossible because you need to have all the nutrition and hormones working in the body. If you not have that, you will not be able to do that. And to get there, you need to start priming your body. And what I will recommend people to do is starting, I will start up my computer now. Let's see if it works. That's strange. What you will start with is try to skip the butter, because butter is okay, it's fine, but you will get problem with diarrhea. It's because most people eating omnivore has problem with the bile production. I was one of them, and if try to eating high fat, what is carnivore actually is it's a high fat diet or food map, whatever you call it, lifestyle. And the more fat you can put in your food, the better is your hormones and everything will work a lot better. And today I can tell you my fat intake in percent, in energy percent, is more or less 92%. So I eat 92% of my totally energy intake is pure animal fat today. Mostly it's raw fat, but also heavy cream. I know it's a bit sugary, but I don't care. I drop weight. The more fat I eat, the more weight I drop. Same with my son. But the first tip is to prime yourself. If you're priming your body with fat and nutrient, like if you can start with raw meat, not directly, but if you wait 3 months, try to get your bile production up so you know you can dissolve the food properly. And if you have any signs of heartburn, going up this and problem with that, don't do raw meat because you don't have enough bile to, take up the nutrition. Also, you need the bile to kill any pathogens. And if you don't have enough bile production, it can be dangerous. So don't ever eat raw if you have heartburn. No, that's a big no-no. So I don't recommend people doing raw meat at all if you don't have your stomach working as it should and have a good bile production. And the first sign of you don't have that is pale stool or also heartburn. So, but starting priming up for 8 to 12 weeks, and you will eat 2, 3, maybe 4 times a day. Don't care about 1 meal, 2 meal. It doesn't matter. The first up to 3 months should be your priming phase, that your body gets nutrition, it gets fat, you probably go up a little bit in weight, and that's fine. Don't worry, because you need all the hormones, you need all the fat, you need everything to work properly. Also, if you check your vitamin D, it's also a good thing to go to, if you can pay for yourself and do a lab test on, in Sweden we have something like Verilabs. You can get a big scan of the most important things. And I will say like this, insulin or C-peptide we measure in Europe. C-peptide is a lot better than insulin because it will see a longer span of your blood sugar or insulin, I mean, and A1C and glucose test. This is 3 most important thing. The next together with that is vitamin D. If it's too low, you are fucked. You need to get your vitamin D level up. That's the most important thing you have to work on, because vitamin D level is involved with a lot of process in the body. So low vitamin D means that you will probably have not an immune system that works perfectly good, and also have problems to create other stuff in the body, because vitamin D is a hormone, it's not a vitamin. So the vitamin D level needs to go up, and the only thing you can get vitamin D level up is with animal fat. And in the beginning, you maybe also do supplements, but doing an animal fat from pigs, pork fat is more or less the most vitamin D richest source you can find. If you get pasteurized pork fat, you will have 1,000 international units for 1 teaspoon of pork fat if it's pasteurized, and that's the biggest vitamin D intake you can get your hands on. So if you eat 100 grams of more or less raw pork fat each day from pasteurized, you will get around 40,000 international unit of vitamin D. And if you don't get your hands on pasteurized, you will get around 10,000 international unit for 100 grams of pork fat. So pork fat that is pasteurized, if you get your hands on it, it's a nutrition bomb. And of course, vitamin D, it's a lot of that in there. You have also a pre-made vitamin D that is ready for the body to use, a D25. There is also, I think it's 75 milligrams of vitamin D25 per 100 grams. So you can take it up immediately in the body. So that's a good thing to do. Prime your body with fat, and also eat meat, but increase the fat slowly, because you can't go in 100% with that 75, 80, 90% of fat of the intake. You need to be a little careful so you can get your system to work. But if you choose fat, I would say go for the animal fat instead of butter. Butter is fine, it's good taste, but it will dissolve as quick as it goes down. It will get like you will stress on your bile production, and if you don't have enough, you will not be able to dissolve this, and you get problem with the bile, and you will also get diarrhea very easy. If you're eating raw fat, like tallow or pork back fat, it takes time to dissolve this in the body. So, it will probably take 6, 7, 8 hours before it's ready to go down, and you will never ever get diarrhea from it. I live on fat, I do fat fasting for almost 4 days and no diarrhea. Just eating pork fat. So it will not get you diarrhea if you eat animal fat, regular animal fat. But going to this for the first 3 months, your body will get the nutrition. And when you get all the nutrition, you take it up because you probably have methylation pathways problem. So you probably have problems with vitamin B12, cobalamin. You probably have folate problem and in the body, and also, a bit low on everything. Eventually, you also have a higher homocysteine level. And if you have those problems, and maybe insulin resistance and everything, there is not so easy way to get all the nutrition in the body, because probably the body will, just drop it off. So you need to increase it to fill up your nutrition stores. And also one thing is that the governments all around the world said, oh, you should eat, health system says, oh, you should eat around these calories and these calories. If a grown up man, woman, if we ever should talk about calories maybe, you can maybe count them if you're eating omnivore diet. But the thing is, a grown woman that is around 35, 40 years old will have a basal metabolic rate normally around 2,700 calories if you take an average. If you ever measuring, calories, it's not that easy to do that. But you take the average that, and you have women going from keto to carnivore, etc. And they, doing macros and eating like 1,800 calories, they counting calories. And that's, excuse the most stupid thing you can ever do, because you need the nutrition. And without insulin, if you don't have insulin resistant, and without insulin, eating food that not kick up your insulin, you will not be able to store fat. So it doesn't matter if you eat in high fat or higher energy from fat, because you will not be able to store that. But instead you will get satiety very long time. So probably you can't eat the day after, because you have eaten a lot of fat and meat. So you will not be able to eat, because the body will say, no, stop. And the first step is priming. After 3 months, when you do this, you can start up the new life, and that you will be good doing 1 or 2 meals. I will recommend people doing 2 meals, and you will eat around 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Start dinner around 12 o'clock p.m. and the last dinner, the most proteins in daytime, and later on more fat. And you eat around 5 o'clock, and you end your eating before 6. If you do that, and after this first 2-3 months of priming, and if you are obese, then you eat 2 meals, and don't think of the calories. Eat till you are satisfied. I'm full. Don't eat the day after. You can do this, by maybe eating a smaller meal the day after if you don't use to this fasting thing. But otherwise, try to fast for 40 hours and eat after 40 hours again 2 times, and unlimited energy intake from carnivore. Don't count any calories. It's stupid to do that. If you do this, you will have 40 hours fast and 6 hours eating window around that. You can have up to 42 hours, but I would say you have 8 hours window to eat on, but I prefer you to shrink it down to 4 to 6 hours, and it's better. But you will have around 36 to 42 hours fast. And if you do this, your insulin level will drop, and you will drop weight, and you will never be hungry. it's impossible. Everyone that's tried this, and it's not a few, it's a lot of people in Sweden that listen to me on Carnivore Nordic that try this, and most people, everyone that do this drop significant amount of weight. And I have this woman that follow my advice, and she dropped now 28 kilo. That's, I think it's around 56 pounds, I think, around. But 28 kilo in 7 months by eating like this. And she's 60 plus years old. That's not easy to drop almost close to 30 kilo in a half year. I have other people doing the same thing, so she's not the first one, but everyone doing this, they get the health back. And, in Carnivore Nordic page, a lot of people start to involve this fasting thing. It's nothing new, if you listen to Candy Berry, he recommend also people to do maybe intermittent fasting and maybe a little bit longer. But I would say like this, if you do 40 hours fast, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, or if you are in a fertile age and have your periods, and go into this thing before the period, and then people have probably no, you should not fast. That's bullshit. If you're doing the 40 hours fast, the body will not recognize this as a fast. It's too little time to set your body into like a fasting mode. It's precisely in the beginning when you around 40 hours, most people find and feel the fasting maybe, a bit hungry. I think it's not that fun to do it. So 40 hours is a very good thing to do because the body will not recognize this as a fasting. The body doesn't know the clock. It's you that living after the clock. Your body doesn't care when or what when you eat your food. If you eat your food on a Sunday and not eating 2 days, the body doesn't care. It stores energy, it stores nutrition, and it stores the energy in form of mass. It's fat mass, and that fat will go back into the system if you allow the body to do that. So the fat is not actually energy, it's body mass, it's an organ. So it's not, you can probably not calculate real body weight through like calories. We use that, to calculate a bit, but the body was not working like that. So it's a bit different than people think. So the body mass is you get bigger if you're getting fatter, and that is like a body mass, and it can be used as an energy source. But the body needs to move all that body mass back and create ketones. First of all, it creates triglyceride and can then evolve to prepare it and to make ketones, and ketones will supply your brain with energy and everything. But the ketones go down to the mitochondria, and it will do, electronics. We are electrical people, so it make protons and everything in the body to keep us going. So it's our mitochondria that is supplying us with life. Without the mitochondria, you will die. And dysfunctional mitochondria is nothing you want to have a long time. But this is the thing you're starting with. And the day if you have heartburns problem and other problems, be careful, because most people had eaten high vegetable diet before. Even I do that. You will get oxalate dumping, and oxalate dumping can be really hard for you. I know I had oxalate dumping for 15 months doing this fasting schedule. I did this fasting schedule I did. You can listen to what I do in the interview with Dave Mack in No Carb Life. I did probably one of the hardest fasting you can do, a real fasting every time. I did 7-day fast, eat every second day, back to 7 days fast. I did this more or less for 15 months. That schedule is, crazy if you look back on it, but I had fat, I have nutrition, my body was able to fix this without any problems. A bit boring sometimes, but you need to find other things to do. So I go out walking a lot. because was in unemployment before. Because I dropped the weight, I was able to get work again. So I started working in January this year after being unemployed for 4.5 years. Before that, I just worked 1 year, 2018, 2019, and before that I was also unemployed for over 4 years. So I have not worked in more than 1.5 year the last 10 years because the sickness I had, obesity, and also the other shit I live with. So I was not able to work actually. But if you do that, you will go into that. And same day when you get your heartburn away, if you have that problem, try to eat raw meat. Eating raw meat is nothing special. Of course, if some countries you maybe need to be careful. But if you look at in Europe, Denmark, Norway, and Finland, Sweden, also in UK, I think, and France, Germany, Switzerland, all of these North countries, also Italy and Spain. Our meat is probably the cleanest meat you can find anywhere if you compare, because we have full control. In North Europe, we have, in Swedish, it says trikins or trichins in pork meat. It has not been found, I think, the last 40 years in Sweden. So pork meat is perfectly fine to eat raw in Sweden. They are the cleanest meat you can find. In Germany, they eat raw pork meat every day. Maybe around 1/3 or maybe 50% of the German people eat met almost every day. But they use that on sandwich. But they eat raw pork meat, grinded pork meat with some spices on. And I have never heard any problem with that. So don't be foolish about all this. Oh, you can't eat the pork, blah, 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 raw, this problematic and you will get sick. No, that's not the case. Not in Europe. Of course, in other countries, maybe it's a bit hotter, the environment when they slaughter the animals maybe be not that good, and you maybe need to be careful. But if you're a bit worried about pork and eating that raw, just dry salt it for 3-4 days. Put salt on it, coarse salt, sea salt. Put the meat in salt for 3-4 days if it's pretty thick. If you buy like a pork side, put it in dry salt for 3-4 days. Wipe it off, let it dry in the fridge for 5-6 days. It's ready to eat. It's like cured meat, but will still be raw as not heaten up, and it will not destroy the nutrition in the meat. This was an old type when we, our ancestors back in Sweden and Denmark and Norway, in these North countries, they live on wild boar or pigs a lot, and dry salted was a way for curing the meat so it would last longer. So we eat in a lot of salted meat in Sweden, also around Europe. It was the only way to preserve the meat. And this thing also preserved all the vitamins, so you don't destroy things. But if you cook the food, around 30% of the vitamins will disappear in the cooking. This is science, so you can check it up if you want to. 32% of the vitamin B12 will disappear when you cook it. And what is disappearing is the most nutrients, best, something you can take in pretty quick, and it's methylated vitamin, methylated cobalamin. And this is destroyed by heating up. And this is the vitamin that the animal created for themselves. So you will take the pre-methylated vitamins in the raw meat, you will take them up and you will thrive on them. So if you have some problem with the methylation pathways in the bodies, which many people have today, you will be able to take up more nutrition from metbrötchen. But the eating, I think it's also knackenpeter. I think it also has a name. I think it has more names. I think this kind of eating met evolved in the East Europe, I think, around 1950, 1960s, actually. So, but it is very usual to eat that in German. So they eat raw pork meat there every day. But this special thing, you will not You cannot sell it the day after. It needs to be prepared the same day. You grind it with the spice and you sell it, and you need to eat it there. You can't save it for the day after in Germany. That's forbidden. You can get really hard punishment from the government if you do that as a store selling that. So you need to, if you do that in Germany, you need to be careful with that. Yeah. Also, you can do dry salted salmon, but the graved one is it also contains some sugar, but not much. But you can eat it. It will not be that much. It's all about amount of thing. Some carnivores channels, and I know, of course, they can be hardcore. They say, "Oh, stay away from the sugar," but you have sugar naturally in liver. So if you eat liver, you will get carbs. If you eat eggs, you will get carbs. Liver is full with carbs. It's not little, you get carbs. So adding, getting like 5, 10, 15 grams each day from through the food, or up to 20 grams, is totally fine. Methylcobalamin, yes, B12, is in raw meat. And if you cook that, it will disappear. So you need to have fully functional methylation pathways in the body. If you don't have it, or you have a gene mutation, in Sweden or in Europe, North Europe, we have the highest amount of gene mutation in this methylation process. So we have around 48% of the people, or 50% of people having a milder version, and of those is 10% have methylation problem, and most people have ancestors from the north. So we have a mutation that makes it very hard to get up the vitamins. That means if you don't eat in carnivore and you eat in omnivore, you will get deficiency and you will get sick. And those people that have this methylation problem should probably start eating raw meat, because that will supply them with the methylated vitamin. And this is probably the case for me. If you look back, I think I have photographs of me, and I have never had any body hair on back, arms, legs. Have little on my chest, and the last 5, 10 years it has been white. This last 6 months, all the white is gone. Now all the hair on the chest is black. Hands, everything growing black. Feet, black hair, everything is going black. And this is the testosterone and all the nutrition that comes in the body in form of eating the raw meat for me. So I probably have methylation problem because I have an aunt that has problem. And because she has we probably had that in our bloodline. So some people can get this, and she cannot take up vitamin D. She cannot make that from the sunshine. So she needs to add vitamin D in the food, supplement for, I think she should done that from age of 10. From when it come, vitamin D is, I think it was 1950s, 1960s come, and she has been supplied with us since this. So it's over 50 years she eating that. She needs to do that because she can't take up the vitamin from created in the skin with the sunshine. So maybe we have problem. I'm not checked up. It's a very expensive test to do this, and the healthcare system will not do this test if you don't really are sick. And to get there, you need to realize that you are sick. If I look back how I was, yes, I was sick, but no one did the tests on me. The most tests I've done after the carnivore started. I did some tests. Most tests have been with inflammation in the body and other sickness, not with allergies, not with testosterone level. If they take in testosterone level maybe 20 years back, they will find out that I am low, and probably they want to put me on supplements with testosterone. I believe that could be the case. Today I don't need that. Shouldn't talk about me. If you have any questions, just ask them. I know it's people from Europe around mostly in this channel now, but sometimes English people will find this channel and also look, maybe tomorrow instead. But if you do this, you will probably in about 3 to 6 months, you will be able to drop weight, and you can go raw in 3 to 6 months. It depends on what your goal is and how your health is. If you're really obese, you have to do this, probably do more fasting. If you're not that obese, you maybe don't need to do a lot of fasting. But I will say like this: intermittent fasting is the best thing to do with the carnivore. So eating 2 meals in a short time and after you're doing this priming will make it more easy, and you will not be hungry, and you will probably feel better not eating. So if you took a look at me, I eat food. I'm not feeling bad, but if you compare with me not eating food and I'm fasting, I feel a lot better. So fasting is more natural for me today than being, stuffed. Uh, if you look photo of me before, I was black. My son has black eyebrow, and I was that too. I get it back, so you will see later. This was white, and I have black hair coming. If you look at it, hands and everything is black. Chest, black hair. I have 50% not Swedish, and we are from ancestors just 120 years back in my mother's side. We are Polish, Ukraine, and Karachay-Balkar. So Karachay-Balkar is Caucasian Turkish people. They are black hair. So my mother was black hair, and so was I when I was younger. We'll see if the hair comes back. I have not dropped this hair. It's just shortcut, but it's pretty black. Getting black. I made it like this, not showing that. Um, but the hair on the body is black, and it's not brown, black, and it's growing like We'll see. I had photographed from my legs 5 years back, not a hair. It was not just because of the obese, because I never have hair on my legs, not on the arms. And we'll see in about 1 year what happens. And this thing is connected with the hormone level of testosterone and all the nutrition. So nutrition deficiency is probably mostly cause for you getting gray or white hair. And if you are tired, also you're not feeling great, it's probably that you have nutrition deficiency and also low testosterone level if you are male. Even women need to have a proper amount of testosterone to also feel good, but not too much. They will not be function very good if they get high testosterone level, because dropping off some of the estrogen and progesterone if you get high testosterone level. So the period will not work properly. Yeah, yes. The eyebrows coming back, of course, on me too. The beard has not growing that fast lately, but the body hair around is growing. It's sick how fast it grows. I can tell you like this: my son is 14 years old, and he started growing beard. I got my beard when I was 25, around 25, 26. I didn't have any beard growing. I don't need to use shave more, maybe 1, 2 times per month. So I probably had some problem with the testosterone level when I was younger. I'm pretty sure of that. It started growing when I meet my now ex, and I get, really a lot of, probably the body kicks up the testosterone level a bit, the feelings you get when you're with a woman, and suddenly it started dropping down. I got tired, and I, have problems going to the work and everything for years. I feel tired. Today, not such. It's all the health is better than ever. Uh, so yes, it will affect your hormone levels, what you eat, and that's the thing you can do for your body, and you can grow back hair. And of course, if you look, I will take I have photographs of my legs, because I got an edema 2016. I got a leg wound, and it could be very dangerous. But it's after 5 months with compressions and treatments every second day at the healthcare system, I finally get my legs to heal. If it's not healed, I will probably have to cut off the leg. But that damage I had on the leg, I have photograph of it before carnivore, and it looked like shit. The skin was totally red. I have no, outlay that is getting white on it like this white. It was red and damaged, and it's healed, but it looked like a burn wound or something. And if you compare today, about 50% of this wound has in English has renewed the outer layer. That should be impossible. I show the healthcare system because they know this case, and I showed the leg, and I said, "Look at this," and look at the photos. They tell that is impossible. You should not be able to grow out new skin over like this wound. That is not possible, they say. And of course, that's not true, I think, because I have regrown 50% of this wound has disappeared, and it has come in new outer layer of the skin has regrown. It's even growing hair. How the fuck is that possible? But this is the case. So saying like this probably is the combination of fasting, because you get your body going autophagy, and that will reuse bad proteins and also take up the skin that is maybe excess skin will disappear, but it also can renew things in the body. So the healing of the leg is, I never seen anything else in my body change so much, because I had the photos before and after. Also, my feet was more or less, it looked like there was brown. It's not from the sun. It was spotted with small brown spots, and the color was, like they almost die, bad circulation in the outer skin, not supplying enough to, hold back any hair. And because I have some hair on the feet and disappear. Today, it's growing more hair on the feet than ever, and my feet is totally healed, and they are white as my kids' feet. And it should also be possible, but the body has healed this. This is like I think it's called Stase eczema. So stasis eczema is called, it's something should be damaged because that's blood vessels under the skin that is damaged, that's causing this, and it should not be able to disappear. But I have photographs before the carnivore and after 5 years now, and it's almost totally gone. On the feet it's gone, and it's getting better. It's you're like creeping up on the legs, and you get whiter. So the body is healing this Stase eczema. And the Stase eczema is it's going downhill if you get it. It's the first thing you get when you're starting getting diabetes, and it's healed. It's gone. So this is very good that I have photographs before and after, and it's easy to see that it's my feet, so you will still see the wound. So healing the body is absolutely, you can heal out damage on the body. If you have like a bigger wound and like that, you will be able to do that with the right diet and fasting. The fasting is the key for regeneration of the body's function, I think. If you look at the cultures thousands of years back, they did fasting, and they realized the fasting was the thing to heal the body. It's nothing new. So yeah, any questions? I see it's not many people on this channel. I know this. I do this. I try to do this every Sunday. Hopefully more people are coming into this. I know Candy Berry has tell people go in and follow this channel and listen because he likes what I say. And okay, my English is not perfect fluent, but I think most people understand what I talk about. Maybe some words not getting right. I want to do this in English in this channel because it will lead out to more people. I do Swedish on Facebook, absolutely Swedish on Facebook, because there are more people there. in these groups that followed this. I was in live in Swedish TV4 channel in end of the May month. We did a 10 minutes interview, me and my son, and I put it up in this channel. I did a copy of it, so no, it's not legal to do that. But if I am in the video, I think it will be probably legal to use that. You're curious about my sleep before and after started carnivore. Yes, the thing is that I have sleep apnea for more or less all my life. I have using this breathing mask sort of try, but I was to tight up this nose, so every time I sleep with that, it wake me up because I stop breathing. So the longest breathing off, not breathing at all, when I did test equipment on me, it was 2.5 minutes not breathing at all. So then I wake up, a little bit. So I have disturbed sleeping for all my life because I stopped breathing for around maximum 2.5 minutes. I have this problem since I was small. And if you look now, it's disappeared. So I sleep, perfectly fine. Maybe snoring a bit sometime, my daughter tell me, but not that much, depending how if I lie on the bed on the side, I will never snore. It's just lay down on the back. So the sleep apnea is gone. It's disappeared. But it was severe, they want to put me in, bigger, this mask, and also maybe put, checking the heartbeat and like oxygen and tension, and also put something that, kick me on, like an electric shock, just to get me running and start breathing. But it was 2.5 minutes is longest, stop breathing for. I think you talk about extreme sensitivity to grains and corn, etc. Something about it being more occurring in northern countries. Do I remember correctly? No, I would say like this. Depends on what your ancestors are. My ancestors is, just 2 generations back. They come from North Sweden, most of them, from my father's side. And they was living more or less on potato and meat. Potato was what they eat. They didn't eat grains that much. My granny didn't use that much. If you look back what they eat before, because I have my aunt and it said they eat meat and potato. So they didn't eat grains when they grew up. My dad didn't eat grains when he grew up. And there was more or less hunter and gathering people down up to 1940s, and it's the modern society coming, and they try to change it, and they move down here where I live today. They move down from the north. And if you look at my mother's side, it's from Eastern Europe. Also there, they live mostly on hunting. I descend from I would say tribe. It's Zaporizhian Cossack. So that's people living more or less on horses. So they do fishing and hunting mostly. They live on that, and probably eating probably eating veggies also, like a sauerkraut or something like that. But mostly they eat meat and fish. So it depends on if I look at the science, because in Sweden we have a science program like they call Science World. It goes 1 time per week, and it's by study, like documentation. We have like I think it was early January this year. It's was a documentary on the food that changed the humanity. It looked back 10,000 years in Turkey, and they say in that program that we still have today hunter and gathering living around in Europe, and those people are not adapted to this modern lifestyle, and they will get sick pretty easy if in eating grains, because people eating grains 10,000 years back and forward. And when they start eating grains in Europe, to this documentation that's sent on in January in this Swedish television program, it was over 1 hour. I will see if I can get a copy of that, put up a link and hide it and give people the link. If you send a message, I would probably supply the private link, because this program is so important. So it should be, shared around the world if it's possible, but it's illegal to do that. You can't look at the program from any country. You need to be in Sweden property. Probably you can look at it if you have a proxy server, and you can get the link. I think I have the link still. But they talk about this, and they talk about some people can't withstand any grains at all. They get sick pretty easy. But the problem is that everyone getting inflammation eating grains. If you live in Sweden, you can search for that in Swedish. It will be like maten som förändrade världen. So if you're Swedish, you can look at SVT Play and search for Vetenskapens värld. You will find the program, I think it was in January. If you look at this, you will understand what happens to the people around the world. But this eating grain comes into humans around 10,000 years ago. And from being big, most people was 119 centimeters or taller. Even the women was around 185, 190 centimeters. And it's more or less there was 5.9 or 6.3 around there. And bigger heads, brains, everything was bigger then. And also they have more teeth. And they look at the preserved all the skeletons from people living before, because they have like they buried the people in the same place in different layers, and they find out that people start to change in 10,000 years ago. And it was the grains, and people get thinner skeleton, and the bones get thinner and fragile. They got the problem with rotten teeth. Everything started to happen 10,000 years ago. So eating grains in any form will destroy your teeth. Eating meat, raw or cooked, will not affect your teeth at all. I do not normally brush my teeth. I don't need to. They are perfectly white, and I get no stain on them because eating raw meat doesn't affect my teeth at all. I will brush them a bit when I drink in heavy cream, because heavy cream contains a little bit of sugar. So then you can get some stains on it. So maybe I do brush my teeth 1 time or 2 times per week, but I don't need to do that a lot. I use just clean between the teeth, flossing. But this science program in Sweden was, if you have proxy server, you can go into SVT Play online. If you live outside Sweden, you will not be able to do that if you don't have an account for it. Then you can do it. But if you can use a proxy server to tell SVT that you are in Sweden, so then you can watch the program. And I think it's in France or also English, but I think it's Swedish subtitles mostly. But you will understand most of that anyway. But you can do an AI, subs for it if you use AI to supply it for you. It's possible today to do that. But the thing is with that, you have these answers, and they also talk about the teeth and how it's and how the teeth is also affecting how you speak. And there is one way I different from most people in Sweden today, because my ancestors have this different gene if you compare to normal today's people, because hunter and gathering people still lives around in Europe. They have not living on this modern food map more than maybe 50, 30, maybe 1 generation. So they still have the not that good ability to eat that crap. And they are getting sick pretty easy eating that shit. And they are probably not withstand, they cannot eat the grain because they get sick like me. I talked with my brother about that, and he has the same problem like I. So he eating grains, He has not celiac disease and not gluten intolerance, but he is getting sick and get pain in the gut, in the stomach if he eat grains. And we have no gluten allergy. It's something else. It's like this is another protein that's called gliadin. And this gliadin has similar cousins in most veggies. And I think most people that started eating this 10,000 years ago, they got this generation. Probably they can withstand it, but 10,000 years is not a long time for humans. So the change will not get that fast if you think about that. So the evolution is not 10,000 years. To get an evolution to change something in a human, it's take more time than 10,000 years. But probably that has affected some, so they can tolerate more grains. But the problem is the grain is inflammatory for everyone. Not everyone get the symptoms right now. They will get them later. But they will not understand that the problem is the grains. And one thing more that come into the humans' food last 100 years now, I think, starting is the seed oils. And the seed oils, it's a problematic thing because they take it from a seed, or in some veggies they take out this oil from it with chemicals. This just the chemicals is a problem. But the thing is, it is not the oil in itself or the seed oil itself. If you take like an sunflower oil, that is very oxidative. It's very dangerous to eat that. But the seed from the sunflower seed, and you crack it up, that is not that dangerous because you crack it up and it's fresh inside. It's in a seed because it's not supposed to be in the air. It's the air that oxidates the fat inside the seed. So you take the seed and you make oil of it, and the air, the oxygen come in and it will destroy it, oxidate it, and that's the problem. So if you look at the nature, you will not be able to eat like 2 deciliter of sunflower oil because you need to supply you with hundreds of kilo to make. I will not say it, maybe you need 120 kilo of seed sun, from that to make this amount of oil. So it's not natural for human to eat that amount. Probably they eat some seeds, before, and they can crack up and eat maybe 10, 20 what they get their hands on. And that is fresh, so it not affected the same as the seed oil. The seed oil is oxidated from the start when they open up and crack the shells, and the oxidation starts. So that's the biggest problem with the seed oils. It's the oxidation, and they start immediately when they crack it open and when it produce that shit. And oxidated fat is not healthy, not even animal fat. If the pork fat is starting getting brownish, it just natural get, not that white it should be, then you have problem with oxidation, and that fat is not that good to eat. You can probably do something else with it, but you should not maybe eat it. So this should be fresh and white, maybe a little pink inside with the fat, but it's getting brownish. Of course, if you're doing something when that color it's not a problem, but oxidated fat is not good, neither the animal fat, neither do these seed oils. They are the same thing problem when they get oxidated. So oxidated fat is not healthy for us. We need to eat the fat raw. The rawer the fat is, the better it is. And fat will oxidate in about 1 month in room temperature if you take animal fat. They can supply, if you put salt, maybe can fix for 1 month. After that it starts to oxidate. It's not that healthy for you. If you salt cure it, it will last a bit longer. And that was the case doing back in the days. The salt cured everything. You get the fat to not oxidate that easy. I need to drink some water. It's cold and it's sprinkled water. If any more questions. But the thing is that the sugar stuff they put in and with the oxidation of the fat, it's two things together that creates problem. Because you have this thing, and I hopefully Bart K don't see this and judge me for talking about the Randall cycle, but Randall cycle is something that make your body choose or balance the energy expenditure in what you're eating, and it will supply you and tell the body what to do. And the Randall cycle, if you're eating a lot of fat, you will create more energy from fat than from sugar. So if you eat the same amount of sugar in energy and the same amount of fat, you get problem. Your Randall cycle will not function very well because the body will have two functions it needs to solve out. You need to get the sugar away, so the body wants to raise the insulin, but it's also something it don't want because it wants to choose the fat. The fat is better source for energy in long term if you compare the sugar. And the body wants to get the sugar away from the blood system quickly, and you get metabolic problem. And with the oxidated fat, it's even worse because the liver will not be able to use that fat to creating any amount of cholesterol. So your cholesterol level will go down. And it's a good thing, they say. Low cholesterol is good for you. No, it's not. I don't care what YouTube, fact checkers said. Low cholesterol is not good. And if you're eating a seed oil that's lowering your cholesterol level, that's because your body can't use that fat for creating cholesterol with it. That's the problem. And you get oxidated cholesterol, fat running around in the body that will not be used by the body. So your body will have a big hell to get rid of that crap out of the body. I don't know, some sources say it takes up to 2-3 years to clean out the body from seed oils. I don't know. Maybe it's, didn't find the studies, but people say like this is cleansing, since it take up to 2 or 3 years to get the shit out of the body. But low cholesterol is caused by sugar intake and oxidated oils. That's why you get lower LDL level with seed oil. It's not because they are healthy, it's because your body can't use that crap to do anything with it because it's damaged. So real fat will raise you. If you're eating animal fat that is not oxidated, you will get higher cholesterol and your HDL will spike up big, and that's a healthy thing. So, and also your triglyceride will go down. But if you're mixing in sugar in any form with high fat, you are in trouble, man. You need to stop that immediately. And that is the biggest problem today. You have seed oils, all the products that's not carnivore today. You eating something that made pastry or something you eat, if you don't eat carnivore. You get something that contains seed oils. Most of the use oil today instead of butter. So they contain seed oil, it contains sugar, and you eat most people eat that crap before carnivore, and you get high fat and high sugar. And there is no place in the nature there is a plant that is supplying both fat and sugar in the same amount, and that is it's a killer version that you will destroy your health. So don't ever do that. If you ever cheat, I don't know why you should cheat, but I call that cheat if you're eating something with sugar. Stay away from the fucking fat. Don't mix fat with sugar. So if you eat anything that is sugary more than you need, and no, you don't need it, but more than if you do with some cheating, don't ever eat that with fat. In Sweden we have like this, I can't tell the word online but in Sweden we call that different. But it's like delicato bowls, I think you can say. They are in like 50-50 fat with sugar, and they have like some oats mixed together, and people eating that. That's I will call that diabetes ball, because you will get your Randall cycle, fucking out, and it will not working properly. So let the body choose, rather that you trigger both, let the body choose more fat instead. You keep down if you want to eat in something sugary, sometimes you're not carnivore, don't mix fat. That is like like a bomb for you, toxic bomb, because the fat together with sugar is not good for you. That will be problematic for metabolism. But carnivore is not sugary at all. But these are people not living clean. So if you ever cheat, don't fucking mix the fat with the sugar, and don't eat seed oils. Seed oils take away the crap. I grew up on that shit, and probably that is also one of the reason I don't get the testosterone level high, because I grew up on seed oils. I never eat butter in my from I was small up to I was adult, and last 5 years I dropped out the seed oil and stopped eating butter. So from 44 years age, I started eating butter. So the first 44 years I didn't eat butter. And my cholesterol level was low, and probably my testosterone level also was low, and everything was low, and I didn't feel great. Today I eat animal fat and butter also, but mostly animal fat, and I thrive. I never feel that this good in my life like I do now, and I never tired. Every day doing, and when I want to go sleep, I go sleep. I am not tired. I'm not going like this. It's never happened. I always wake up before wake up from my phone. I always wake up maybe 5, 10 minutes before, and don't want to hear that crap, ringing in my ear. And I am always in time for work. This work I've worked for over 6 months, and it's in another city. I never been late one single day. And if you look back at the older works, I always been 1 minute there, 2 minutes there, always a bit late. And it was because I was still tired when I wake up and never sleep good and not have energy. And today I know probably the energy was a testosterone problem. Would never know because I didn't do tests, because in Sweden they do not do health tests before you get really sick. So I think our healthcare system is good in Sweden. Yeah, if you get sick, you will get help. But before that, they don't want to help you. You need to get really sick, like an allergy shock, or you get problem with the blood pressure, or some big symptoms. Then they will check up, but not before that. So I will say like this: if you pay in Sweden like $200 for complete scan you can do on Verilabs. I don't know in other countries how much you have to pay, but it's in Sweden with that. If people should do this every fifth year, they will know exactly how the body is feeling and how your body is evolving on what side, or if you're going to get diabetes. You will see that 10 years before you evolve to that. But most people don't understand this. So if you are obese, a problem in that, and you're not feeling good, take blood tests to see, this full scan. You will see if your body is, still function well. If not, you will probably get, a map how to maybe fix this. I wish I did the tests long before this, with my own money, so I would probably get a shock from the start, because I know I was pre-diabetic. I have in Swedish measurement 42 millimole. It's a long time A1C sugar in Swedish measurement. I think that if you divide it with 18, you will probably get this number in percent. But if you take 42 and measuring and take this number in United States, you are diabetic. So if in United States terms, in this measurement they have, I was diabetic. In Sweden, we have a little bit more higher, people can get a little higher sugar before we say they are diabetic. Let's see, like this, we'll try to check up how much 42 is in, because it's fun to write about it and talk about it. Can you see what they are? See converter. Let's see here, DCC to IFCC. So we have a conversion, so there is different. Here you have the percent. Let's see if we can get this number 42. This is not working as good as I hopefully. Hopefully it's not working. Here, image, accept. Let's see. If I look at the percent, I had 5 years ago 6 in measurement. This is the NGS SP. That's in milligram per deciliter 125, and this is United States measurement. You have diabetes. So I was in Sweden pre-diabetic, but in the United States I was diabetic. So it depends on which country you live in, and so it's a bit high. And when I start carnivore after let's see, after 2 years, my first test I did after 2 years of carnivore was 5.6%, and today the last one was a little bit high, is 5%. So I was down to 30 the first test I did last year in healthcare systems. I was down to 4.9%. So got from diabetic in United States measurement down to totally normal. And this was carnivore. And some people, there was some stupid asshole in Anthony Chef is spread on Facebook some short video, and it says right there. No, it was another place, but he writes, eating high meat you will get diabetes. That's impossible, because I was diabetic in United States measurement and eating high protein fat intake for 5 years, and has totally normal A1C, and my average blood sugar is down to around 5. So how do you get diabetes from eating high meat intake and fat intake? That's just lies. Maybe that guy is, the problem, looked at. I will soon end this, I cannot talk forever. I know some people, but hopefully people start asking questions. But not many people know that my knowledge of metabolism today is not that little. I'm pretty educated today. I educate myself. Maybe cannot say in fluent English everything, maybe perfectly fine, but with the Swedish I can maybe write it if I say something that's maybe not understand perfectly, but I know what happened in the body when you do something. So if you have some problems, maybe problem drop weight, maybe a problem with triglyceride, any problem you got, I have helped people in Sweden that have this problem, and I tell them what to do, and they get their health better, and they get down all the measurement, and then they're not worried anymore. So you can get your blood works pretty fine in about 1 year if you have problems today. And also, if you have problem with the carnivore diet and evolve into it in the transition time, it takes time for some people. I would say 6 months at least is the minimum you should do before you get any health advances from this food, depending on how you live before. If you have eaten keto before, it's very short time to transition over to carnivore. And what is carnivore actually? I will say it like this, 5 minutes more. What is carnivore? Yes, if you look at Nutrition with Judy, it's another channel that also provide carnivore. She says 70% minimum meat content is carnivore. And the higher up, and you are eating 100%, you're lion diet. For me, if you compare what I eat, I would say I'm 99.9% lion. I have maybe 99%, but I eat heavy cream, so that is a bit more sugar, because if you have some sugar in heavy cream. Today I will eat that, not a problem for me. I like the high fat intake makes me drop more weight, so the more fat I have eaten the last 3-4 months also got results in even better weight loss. So I want to drop around 25 kilo more before I get in the goal. You know, if you look at people see me today, don't see me as fat anymore. You know, I'm bigger than many people, but not fat anymore. So, you know, I never get any eyes on me anymore, because before over 200 kilo, I can promise you the eyes was like this. And no, it was not fun, but I don't care about, you know, I never be ashamed of my overweight. The only problem I have with the overweight was the movement was pretty hard the later year. The older I got, the more, you know, problems I got. And we'll see what happened in the future. I will never stop eating like this. It's impossible for me, you know. I choose between, in this case, it's live or die, because starting eating the other crap again will make me sick in a couple of minutes. And I will not take that for any minutes. I will not eat that crap, you know, no chance. So no, it's not that much questions today. So hopefully this channel will evolve and we'll get more people in and ask questions. Because if you have anything about carnivore, I think I was one question about extremely sensitive grains. It's a question from my perspective as a human and what I've eaten, but you maybe have different. And also do intermittent fasting. Is that too much? No, there is not much. I get dry eye while fasting, and a tip, I'm doing this for insulin resistant and weight loss. Yeah, the dry eyes is oxalate dumping. That's a quick answer, but it is. If you're fasting 90 hours weekly, if you're doing like a longer fast, like 72 hours or 2 times 45 hours, that 45 hours will still get oxalate dumping. So you have eaten a lot of crap before, a lot of veggies that contains oxalate, that will end up in your eyes, in your skin, in your urine, in your stool, everywhere, and it will smell like shit. But the eyes getting dry is the oxalate. It's feeling like dry, but what happens is that you get oxalate going out to the, and you know, in the tears also, and it like small crystals. So what you can do is flush them with like sea salt water. You can take around, boil maybe 2 cups of water with a half teaspoon of sea salt. So it's so dissolved, and you cleanse your eyes with that, because it need to be boiled before you put it in your eyes. And you can use this as an thing to clean out the eyes. Also, you can use some eye drops when you do the fasting, because the oxalate is terrible. I have the same problem. I talk from my own experience, but I did it, you know, 168 to 180 hours fast every second week, plus every second day fast for 15 months. So it was 9,180 hours on the 15 months of fasting. And that was the only thing I could do to drop the weight, because eating carnivore will, of course, get me to drop weight, but it will take more time than I have, you know. I need to go back into working again. So this fasting thing was the only thing for me to solve the health issue. And I would not able to be back in work this year if I'm not doing this fasting. So this fasting was the only thing to get me back into the work. And it works. It worked very, very well. So insulin resistance, if you want to drop that, what would I recommend you to do? Yes, I would say like this: start up now with this eat Monday 2 meals between 12 and 5 o'clock, fast to Wednesday, eat 2 meals between 12 and 5, and fast again to Friday and eat 2 meals, but eat also on Saturday 2 meals. but you will have an 18 hours fast between Friday and Sunday, and fast Saturday and fast Sunday. Do this schedule for 2 months, that you're fasting every second day for around 36 and 42 hours. This is not impossible for you, but you will get your hunger away and you will get down the insulin low, and you don't need to do this longer fast. But after 2 months, then you can start doing 72 hours, and you will do 72 hours, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, eat Friday, and do a short mixing, 72 hours fast in a week, and then eat and do. I will go into mixing that, so you do this every second day fasting, like this 40 hours. So mixing this every second week, do a 72 hours, maybe longer if you want, up to you. But this shorter fasting will deal with insulin resistance and also the hunger. So the shorter fast will prepare you for longer fasting. So that's why I was able to do this longer fasting, because I've done this shorter fasting first. Then I switched over to this longer fasting every second week. But if you do that for, let's say, 3 months, and the first 2 months doing this every second day, and the last of 3 months, 4 months, so do 2 months with a 1 week extended fasting and back to this every second day. In four or up to 6 months, your insulin resistance will be gone. It's impossible for you to have insulin resistant or diabetic. Everything will disappear when you're doing the fasting. It's the natural state for human is to be in the fasted state. That's something probably people don't understand. You will feel better when not eating compared when you eat. So that's a big it's a big issue, because it's maybe not normal to feel that. You feel so good when you're not eating, but you also feel so good after you're eating, but not in the same way. So not eating at all, it's like a liberation for you, because you don't have to think about food. You can go work, you can work all day, just drink water if you want to, and just add some salt. If you want to drink a coffee, do it. Yeah, I know it's not straight, 100% carnivore to drink coffee, but don't overdo it. Drink 1 or 2, or maybe totally 1 cup a day. 1 cup is about 2.5 deciliter. In Sweden, we maybe have the amount is maybe around 1.5 deciliter. So maybe 1 cup a day you can drink. That will be 2 normal small Swedish cups. It will be maybe around 1 US measurement cup, and do that 1-2 time a day. But that's it. You will insulin resistance is very easy to fix if you do it the right way, and the most important thing is to extend your fasting a bit. But this with the dry eye, yes, my daughter come in here. So the fasting thing and the dry eyes is totally connected with oxalate dumping. And oxalate dumping, you can actually check up on YouTube, and I think her name is, let's see here, what is Sally? Let's see if you can find that one. This is Sally Norton, I think. You can check this up. You'll see that you can check up this. Take this Sally Norton, yes. You can check up her oxalate. You can see oxalate dumping syndrome, and you can check. She has her own page, but what she talks about is 100% the truth about what happens when you do the fasting, because you will get severe dumping when you do a longer fasting and a carnivore diet, and this can continue for a couple of years, depending how much oxalate you have bind in your fat tissue, because the fat tissue will keep the oxalate also. So you can get severe oxalate dumping, and this is not carnivore, but I can say that if you want to calm down with the oxalate dumping, you can probably drink like 2-3 tablespoon of black tea, pretty made black tea, and it's not, very high oxalate, but it's high oxalate in black tea. But you can take like 2 tablespoon and to calm down this oxalate dumping. It will, slow down a bit, and you have severe problem with oxalate dumping. You can add some black tea, just 2-3 tablespoon, and that will calm down. Because you can get really sick getting oxalate dumping. It depending on how you can handle it. Uh, I got my severe dumping, so I can get like eczema all over the body. My eyes was dry. I peeing like looked like milk sometimes. It was so cloudy. I did say, "Well, what the fuck is the kidneys this are destroyed or something?" But that was cloudy urine from oxalate dumping. And something people that eat in carnivore, when they starting that, they say, "Oh, what about the vitamin C?" You should not add any amount of vitamin C in this diet. If you take something, you know, supply with that, maybe do a pinch of this supply in powder, like ascorbic acid. Make it take a pinch one time a week. If you overdo vitamin C in carnivore diet and have oxalate dumping, the vitamin C will bind with oxalate and make this thing even worse. So you can get this oxalate binding together and create stones. You can get kidney stones when you're dumping out there, because that will end up in your kidneys and everywhere. And if you eat in high amount of vitamin C and you do fasting and you like this, you can create real issue for the body, because that will vitamin C will bind with oxalate. So that's not a good thing. So stay away from vitamin C supplements doing this carnivore diet and doing fasting, because the oxalate dumping will be much, much worse doing some supply of that. So stay away from it. You don't need much. So if I look at this, I maybe take a pinch 2-3 times per month, this to get add on, but I normally not need to do it because raw meat contains vitamin C. So I have not get scurvy the last 5 years, so not need to supply a lot of that. So maybe a pinch, that's what you maybe need in the beginning, but don't overdo vitamin C at all, because that gets problem. Now I need to stop this now. This is 1.5 hours. So I will say thank to all that has come to this channel. It's not much people. This channel is not, have many followers right now. Maybe more people are living in other places in the world, not be able to see this live, because the clock in the United States is around 2 o'clock Central Time. So people maybe have other things to do on a Sunday and watch YouTube. But I can't stay up late in the night to do this. I have the work to go to. So if you live in other countries, I'm sorry for this. Maybe I've changed and doing Saturday evening, maybe later, maybe 11 o'clock. That would be like 5 o'clock Central Time, United States. That maybe be a bit better. We'll see. Then next time I will do this plan for live, I will do it probably this evening for the next week, so people can plan to look at live. But what do you think? Do you want me to do this later? If you live in Sweden, I understand that's a bit late to do, maybe 11 o'clock in the evening. But I do in carnivore. I not drinking alcohol, so I don't go out and to the pubs and anything, because I don't drink. It's 5 years since I drink anything last time, so I will stay away from that crap. So I will say goodbye, and thanks for every question that you have, and hopefully you get into the channel more and you have more questions. The thing with me, I am a member of Candy Berry's private group, and I can see him, the live if I want to. I do sometimes. He has recommended people to watch this channel, especially if you're from Europe, because there's different in time. And I can answer not medical thing, but I can answer everything around this food map and everything that can happen around this food. And also the most blood works that change it, I can also explain that because I have read about mine and had discussion with the doctor, and they was surprised that I was so educated what all the measurement meaning. And that is a good thing if you learn everything, but you don't have to be afraid of, oh, this is high, this is low. Every measurement you do in the blood works is also always contrary to everything else in what happens. So you cannot take one measurement is, oh, this is high. There's nothing special to have a high or low or something, in one test. If you have like 10 things over over the top and you don't feel good, then it's not something problem. But if you feel good, you probably are all right. But if you have something that is crazy high or very low measurement, then you have problems if you have more problems around that measurement. But you can ask them. I can check it up if if you have some problem, you can get answer. Not maybe right now, but I can go in and answer them in this live event and answer the questions. But now I will stop, and hopefully this channel will grow. And if you're in Europe, or maybe you prefer me to talk Swedish, I don't know, but English work even better because it will spread more around the world. Yeah, thanks and goodbye, and have a great Sunday everywhere in the world you live. Bye bye. Så, nu är jag klar.